I'm here with Christian Royce, the head of sales for SIX Securities and Exchanges. He's also a member of the management committee, and he's going to be talking to us today about best execution, MiFID II, and his expectations from Sibos. Christian, thanks for being with me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Right. So, getting straight to the heart of the questions that I have for you. Best execution, I mean, what defines that in your view?
Well, generally speaking, best execution is to achieve the best outcome for the client.
Okay.
Now that's a challenge because that's already very general. And now we've seen MiFID II coming up with new terms of regulation and also giving new definitions of what best execution might be. Maybe to sum it up on a general level, in the past you had to take all reasonable steps to ensure best execution for your client. Going forward, you need to ensure all sufficient steps. So it raises the bar significantly.
Yeah, okay. Well, but at SIX then, what are we doing to ensure best execution for our clients?
I guess we offer a series of elements that then have to be combined by customers to define their best execution definition. And if you trade on the Swiss Stock Exchange, for once we have a 70% market share in the SMI. More than 90% of the times we have the best bid offer. If you look at the spreads at the touch, we are on average 0.4 basis points tighter than our nearest lit competitor. And also if you look at the depth of the evaluable volume, we are on average 5 times bigger than our next competitor. So if you combine all these factors, I guess it's fair to say that when you trade on the Swiss Stock Exchange, you tap into the largest pool of liquidity for Swiss underliers. And that is a very important consideration for best execution.
Okay, great. And what else? I mean, that's the baseline, and clearly the stock exchange here in Switzerland has that capability. But what else are you adding on or providing in additional services for clients?
Another service that we introduced last year is Swiss at Mid. It's essentially a midpoint execution service for Swiss underliers. By now it already has become the largest undisplayed pool for liquidity for Swiss underliers. And just to make it a bit more tangible, if you look at the first 6 months of the year, the average price improvement was 4 basis points on the trade. So for participants using that service, the direct savings for that half year were in excess of 2 million Swiss francs.
So you're saying clients using the Swiss Stock Exchange this year have saved 2 million just because...
And the service Swiss at Mid.
With the Swiss at Mid.
Yes.
Wow, okay, that's brilliant. But all of these things put together now, you've explained what makes best execution work. You've talked about how in Switzerland the Stock Exchange does everything in its power to ensure best execution. But let's talk about MiFID II. How has that changed the requirements in your view?
As I indicated, it now requires customers or clients who serve end clients to step up from taking all reasonable steps to all sufficient steps. To be a bit more precise, there's a list of requirements on that, and just to name a few, it is of course the price of a security, it is the related cost with the execution, it is the available liquidity, it is the speed and also the probability of execution. So you see it's a vast area of new requirements, and it even goes further by saying that, and all other relevant considerations. So it is actually essentially very broad, and you have to come up with the right definition that works for you and that is in line with MiFID II.
All right, but I mean, as you say, it's broad. So I mean, how long do you think it will take before it sort of gains traction and becomes an integral part of the way the industry operates?
I guess the honest answer is I don't know. But if you look back at MiFID I, I think the regulation was there from day one on. But for the market to find its way around the new regulation and start to live the resulting market structure, it took up to 7 years. And now given that MiFID II is at least as complex as MiFID I, we might assume that it will take at least the same amount of time until we find our way around a new market structure and know what best execution will be in the future.
Oh, okay. So it's a long-term strategy that we're going to have to deploy as an industry. Yes. Okay, great. You're going to Sibos this year.
Yes.
Yeah. What are you looking to achieve there this time?
Oh, I'm really looking forward to it because, as you know, SIX is very broad. I mean, we have that whole Swiss value chain aligned, we have the payment services, and going to Sibos now allows me to, apart from the trading background, to learn more about our clients along the entire value chain. And this is actually why I'm really much looking forward going to Sibos this year.
Great.
Perfect.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.